All right. It's 6:30, right on the button. I love being on time. And look at this. Not too bad. I know the hair is usually a problem on the show, but that's why we have the headband. It serves a dual purpose today. Not only does it corral this crazy hair of mine, but it is, if you haven't noticed, the red, white, and blue. As today, yes, is Memorial Day. I am fully equipped. I have the flag. See? Ooh. This is a big one. This was a flag. This is a nice one. This was it's actually a pretty nice one. They always have all these big different ones, so it's pretty nice, right? Got the flag right here, as today is Memorial Day, and Alan the Steve Squared Show, as we celebrate all things America, right? That's where, in case you haven't noticed, that's where this show is broadcast from. America, somewhere in America. I don't like to tell you where. I keep you guessing. We're always in a different spot. You can see, in some secluded spot, but yes, I always have my identification behind me. And wearing. I always have Governor's Comedy Club. Maybe peek out of the way so you could see a little bit. Gov's Radio, sure. That's what this show is sponsored by. Which, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, yes, it is 6:30, Monday night. It's time for the Steve Squared Show on this May 29th, Memorial Day. Also donning the beautiful gold and black dumbbell shirt. So, in case you are a new square to the Square Show, this is what we do here. We honor all things dumbbells and America. And governors. We got a big show for you today. A beautiful weekend of weather. I mean, you couldn't have been gifted more. Now, I never know what to say. A lot of people say Happy Memorial Day, even though Memorial Day is a day of remembrance, observance, but you could say Happy Memorial Day. I say happy every day. You know, we want everybody to have a happy day every day. But yes, aside from the barbecues and all the things that you do on this holiday weekend, try to understand. I'm going to set the bar so low for you, it's unimaginable. You couldn't even do the limbo, you know? You couldn't even do it under how low I'm going to set the bar for you. All I want you to do is, when you get these 3-day weekends, holidays, Google what it is, right? Because unbeknownst to maybe most of us, these are days that mean something more than a discount on a Hyundai. It's more than a Memorial Day sale on a love seat for your living room. And of course, it is more than 10% off all chemicals and salt, by the way. Yes, this day is much more than that. It's much more than getting a discount on a $5,000 mattress, a Posturepedic, if you will, at Mattress King or Sleepy's. Yes, my friends, it is way more than that. It's more than grilling hot dogs, drinking beer, not even going to work tomorrow because you're so shell-shocked from 3 days of partying and barbecuing. It is Memorial Day, a day, of course, to remember those servicemen and women who have fought for our country over the decades, over the centuries, and given their lives. So, all of us can have Instagram accounts and yell at each other and post stupid videos of TikTok videos. Yes! I'm sure if many of them saw what the freedoms we enjoy today, maybe many of them would not have engaged in battle for us, as we have taken those liberties and those freedoms and have just gone awry with them. Just right off the rails. We use and abuse them. Yes, I am free to post myself half naked on TikTok. Who's to say, but they would not ever do that, because that is the idea, right? The idea is there's no judgment. You're free to do what you please. And in a time where it seems to be at odds, if you will. Isn't it funny how you don't hear any bugaboo by those servicemen and women that are honoring soldiers today, or anybody like that, veterans? You don't hear any. They never complain, and they don't say, "Look, you're offending us by having a mattress sale. You're offending us by diminishing this to silliness." Because that's the whole point, right? The whole point is the freedoms to have any choices, decisions, expressions that you want. Not to step on somebody or say, you are removed because of what you say. You are shut down. None of us should do that. I don't like to get on a diatribe. I don't even know what a diatribe is. The last diatribe I had, was I think 2 years ago. It didn't sit well. You know what I'm saying? I had to wash it down with ginger ale. But anyway, I'll give you a little background. I like to educate. I'm an educator of sorts, not really, but see here. So the first Memorial Day, 1868, or actually 1866. 1866. So this was a post-Civil War type of, it's what this was born out of, to pay remembrance and observance to those soldiers of that Civil War. And do you know the first Civil War, the first Memorial Day, in Waterloo, New York? How about that? May 5th, 1866. And, you know, I had, up until now, thought Waterloo was just a place in an ABBA song. But unbeknownst to me, it's a place in New York that is much more than ABBA. It has much more meaningful ties. They are much more well represented. They are known for something much more than being a lyric in an ABBA song. Good for you, Waterloo. And if for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I want you to go on after the show, mind you, and I want you to Google Waterloo from ABBA. Go on your iTunes store, Pandora, you'll enjoy it. Tell me, what a song. Fantastic. Now it says, how did it get tied to travel and sales? How did this all happen that it turned into this kind of crazy thing? Well, it says here, in the 19th century, after you would have remembrance, you would have picnics and foot races, and you would, you know, kind of have a more happier day after the solemnness. It was also tied to baseball, and when that was born, and so it really opened up into a whole festival of events and days, and of course what we kind of enjoy today. I don't know if many of you went down to the parking lot known as the Wanto Parkway in Jones Beach to witness the Thunderbirds air show. I'm sure many of you have heard it flying over your heads while your house shook. And they had the F-16, F-19 fighter jets, helicopters. I saw a lot of those. Pretty cool. They put on fun air shows, so that was pretty entertaining. I'm going to take a minute. Let me turn on my speaker, because who knows who's going to call in on this holiday show of the Steve Squared Show. By the way, welcome. In case I haven't welcomed you already. And again, gorgeous weather. Just so wet. I wonder if you could help me. I was working a little bit on a brain teaser. Newsday had sent the brain teaser puzzle. Brain bender, sorry. So I have a couple. I wanted to see how good you were. Again, I'm testing you. I'm being very judgy today and very testy, and I don't want to be that. So help me out here. 5 across, 3 letters. 5 across, 3 letters for my puzzle people. My mom's a good puzzle person. She'll get this. Tarzan the blank man. Okay, let's try it again. Tarzan the blank man. It's a 3-letter answer, 5 across. Tarzan the blank man. See if we got any others. 1 down. This was a Harrison Ford movie. Air blank 1. And it's 5 letters. Air blank 1. Harrison Ford movie. Good movie. He played a president. Uh, the vice president, I think, was played by who played the vice president? It wasn't Sigourney Weaver. It was Glenn Close played the vice president. Let's see if we have any others. Oh, my niece would love this if she's watching. She would get this in a heartbeat. It's a David Schwimmer's role on Friends. Who was David Schwimmer's character on Friends? And how many across? This is 15 across. So it was, his name would be 4 letters. David Schwimmer in the sitcom Friends, 4 letters, 4 across. 15 across, 4 letters. So that is a couple for you to think about. Tarzan the Blank Man, Air Blank 1, Harrison Ford movie, and David Schwimmer's role on Friends. I know these. Maybe I'll ask if anybody calls in. I might ask. You never know. So congratulate me. I have finally finished The Perfect Storm and returned it back to the library. Again, I set such a low bar for myself to not only finish this book that never ended. Do you ever read a page and then it seems like you got 10 pages left and all of a sudden it becomes 20, but the book just never ends? It was a never-ending book. I could have edited that book down to 25 pages from 225. And I'm sure the author, Sebastian Young, would be very upset with me because it was made into a movie, for God's sake, but it was too technically minutia jargon for me. And that's what happens when you don't have the content. You have to keep using a lot of words. So it was okay. But I returned the book to the library. I'm sure all fines were cleared. Wink, wink. You know who I'm winking at. My sister always gives me that. Don't worry. Now she's panicking. Nobody watches the show, so I hope she's not panicking. Now I have moved on to a Jewel book. This is my next read, and I suggest you all read this. This I just started. Jewel, Never Broken, from her song Hands. Songs are only half the story. I've told you she's had an amazing story where she was homeless and sang at little beaches, and she hitchhiked across America. Quite a story, very similar to mine. I hitchhiked across America. I played the guitar in little coffee shops. Unfortunately, my result didn't end up as well as hers. A, because I can't write songs, and A, because I don't play the guitar. You see, I thought if you just hitchhiked and had that part of the story, the rest would work out. But unfortunately, you need to be able to play the instrument and to write songs, so that didn't work out for me. Another sad tale of talent gone awry, or lack of talent there is. You love the red, white, and blue headband. Telling you. It's amazing. So that was, we're going to definitely, we should be getting, and I'm going to check, we'll get a call in, probably momentarily. We should get a call in. Maybe Jeff might be calling in. Maybe Steve might be calling. Who knows who's going to call in for this exciting episode of the Steve Squared Show. We were really disappointed. I went with my family yesterday to Myers Farm on Long Island. Okay, Myers Farm is a staple of farm and vegetables and fruits, and it's a part of Long Island. And we get there, and I'm like, wow, we're gonna get a great parking space. You know why? It was closed. So unfortunately, and it did not look. And I went on the website, and it doesn't say anything about it being closed for good, closed for the day. It says it's open, but I tried to call the number. Of course, it's a recording, like anything else. You can't get a person. But I'm telling you, did not look good. Didn't look good. So we're trying to. So I had another one. I know my mom might be tuning in. I found another. Did I find another one? Schmidt's Farm. Schmidt's Farm, right there. Can you see that? Schmidt's Farm. So that could be another alternative to Myers Farm. Plus, we all know Long Island has tons of farms. You can actually look them up in, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's out. The Fun Book. Let's say you were someone like me and you didn't know how to have fun. You didn't know how to have fun. You didn't know what to do. You just stood around and stared aimlessly into the space. Well, the Fun Book here tells you how to have fun. It explains to you how to enjoy your summer, where to go fishing, hiking, kayaking, running, concerts, everything. It's just amazing. I'll give you some hints and tidbits into that. It actually tells you where to get the best lobster rolls. My mom's a big fan of that. And if you're looking for that, you want to go to Smuggler's Jack. Seems that Smuggler's Jack in Massapequa has a wonderful lobster roll. Smuggler's Jack. That should be very good to find. And there's car shows coming up. There's other shows. See, here's a couple of good shows that are coming out at Jones Beach Theater. Nickelback will be at UBS. I'm not a big Nickelback fan, but The Offspring, Simple Plan, and Sum 41. I love all three bands. They're going to be playing at Jones Beach September 2nd. Well, that's a long way. That's not even a summer show. That stinks. Oh my God, Foreigner. My brother might like this. They're going to be playing at Jones Beach. And then they have car shows. So the Fun Book is a great resource to use to find things, all things fun. I'm thinking of coming out with a different book, Depressed Book. Something, things to do when you're depressed. I had a great idea for this book. I'm working on it now. It'll be available for you on my website and on Instagram, Stephen R. Kaminsky. Always go there and look for all things depressing, and you'll be able to enjoy that. So I think there's too many things that are fun. We all know, we get it. People need things that are not so fun. What do you want to do when you're just depressed? So I give my tricks and ideas and things to do for that. Boom. Speaking of depressed, I was seeing this here. Let me show you this. Oh, speaking of, we definitely have to. I just wanted to tune in this. Of course, the great Tina Turner had passed away just about over the past week. So if you get a chance, listen to a Tina song. You know how I always give you things to do? That's my homework for you. Listen to a Tina Turner song. Very inspirational, along with a Jewel song. I was actually talking about female rockers. Amy Lee of Evanescence. Over the weeks I've given you Linda Perry from Four Non Blondes, Alanis Morissette, of course, Jagged Pill, great album. And now this week I'm giving you Amy Lee. I want you to look up an Evanescence song, and really, she is really good, talented songwriter. Check out her music, where on Pandora or anywhere, and YouTube. She's very good. So I like to give a little bit of that. Always try to give. So what was there was something I wanted to share with you, and I don't know. This is actually interesting. In case any of you are looking for your King Cullen. King Cullen is now Holiday Farm. Did you know this? The King Cullens are now being sold, and they will be Holiday Farm. That sounds nicer than King Cullen. King Cullen, I don't like anything named King. The whole royalty thing annoys me. So this should be a lot better. And you get, here they're starting it off with a $20 off purchase of $100 or more. I hate those kind of coupons. CVS does that a lot. They make you spend an enormous amount of money to get the thing. Now, you probably could easily spend $100 at a supermarket, 4 or 5 items, and you're already at $100. Let's be honest. With inflation and the way things are costing in stores, they'll hit $100 with, loaf of bread, a milk, juice, bag of apples, you're already at $79.99. Holiday Farms. Look for your Holiday Farms, formerly King Cullen. Will be all over the place. So these are pretty good. Enjoy that, if you will. Tarzan the Blank Man. Let's see if anybody gets that. I am going to talk about a commencement. I want to see if I have a picture of this, because this was really one of my push-button moments. And I might hold off, but I'll give you a little lead-in. So as most of you know, was at my niece's commencement, graduation, just recently. And I was saying to her, I was joking around saying, hey, this was from Malloy University, now Malloy University. I said, hey, you should have gotten a celebrity, right? You always see those celebrities with their cap and gown as if they graduated somewhere, and they're giving the commencement speeches. So, let's see if you recognize this character here. You might have seen him in many movies. You probably saw him stranded on a desert island. Or maybe you saw him as a woman in a comedy sitcom back in the 80s. You possibly could have seen him as a mentally challenged individual doing all kinds of feats, amazing and otherwise, the son of the great Sally Field. Perhaps you saw him in space, navigating the Apollo 13 mission back to home safely. Yes, you've seen him in many places. Now see him on the podium at Harvard University as the great Tom Hanks delivered the commencement address at Harvard University. Now, they also, this is another thing that really annoys me. It's a push button. Here's my push button early moment of the show. I don't like them giving commencement addresses at these really prestigious universities. Tom Hanks, is that? So what Harvard, which is, right, a very traditional, lauded, only the best of the best, the creme of the creme de la, right? The top of the crop, if you will. The best of the best. Go, in their light, in their eyes, who do they get? What is the pinnacle of success and greatness? Is it a poet laureate, the Nobel Peace? No. It's Forrest Gump. Of course. It's Tom Hanks. And they put a little hat on him and a little robe, and he gets out there and he gives the commencement address. Now, with all due consideration, Tom Hanks did play a college professor from Harvard in Inferno with Felicity Huffman, which was, by the way, one of his worst movies he's ever done. And it was a trilogy, which I couldn't understand. Terrible movie, Inferno. They ran around Paris or France trying to stop a disease or something. He was a professor. Really bad. No bueno there. That was just my movie suggestion. It was just terrible. Don't watch it. But anyway, so they let this joker give the commencement speech. And I had, here's some of suggestions I had. Let me give a few suggestions. Well, Maria Ressa, Shireen Abadi, Carolyn Bertuzzi, Barry Sharpless, Francis Arnold, and of course, Jennifer Doudna. If you are wondering who these people are, and I am as well, they are Nobel Prize laureates. Are they asked to give a commencement speech at Harvard? Of course not, because they haven't brought a ship home to Earth. They haven't gotten off a stranded island on a raft with a volleyball named Wilson. That's what we love. We don't care about these stupid people discovering things and writing great works of art and helping the world famish, hunger, wiping out homelessness. No! We want Chip from Bosom Buddies. Kip and Chip. Right? We want Jim Lovell. We want Forrest Gump giving us advice on how to head out into the world with a, no doubt, $800,000 debt from Harvard University. Let's be honest, those Harvard people will pay that right off in one of their Ponzi schemes when they get out and work in the real world. Scam artists. And did you know, I actually found this out, he gave a commencement address back in 2011 at Yale. Let me give you a few other names. If you think that boils your blood, I'm going to give you a few other celebs that have garnished the podium at very fine institutions. Let's start with the great Swiftie, Taylor Swift, who's been performing all over Long Island recently. I think she was just at the UBS Arena or something like that. But Taylor Swift gave a commencement address at NYU. Very good. Of course, Katie Couric, the Obamas, Robert De Niro in the Tisch School of Arts at NYU. Dolly Parton, of course, at the University of Tennessee. Woo-hoo! She was telling him, look, get a job working 9 to 5. For those of you who are not following the Dolly Parton career, that is a song. My mom will know that joke. And some of you should. Ken Jeong. Now, Ken Jeong is interesting because he's obviously from Hangover and funny actor, but he's actually a doctor. So not a hard... That's acceptable. I give you that. Mindy Kaling. Sure. She did Dartmouth. Interesting. Will Ferrell. Of course. You want your advice from a stand-up comic. I do. I mean, I give you advice, and that's pretty much what I am, only I'm not as famous as these individuals. Unless you're gauging fame by your own mind, then I am famous as much as they are. Now, here's one that I wish would have spoken at my graduation. Snooki from Jersey Shore. Of course, the great Snooki. She actually was paid $32,000 to speak at Rutgers on the benefits of tanning on the beaches of Jersey Shore. You know, you all want to go out and get yourselves a good tan because it looks good when you go out and you club in and you know. So I would suggest that you guys get a good tan. Must have been some speech. Snooki. She wasn't. I didn't even watch that show, but she was definitely not my favorite. I like The Situation. Do you remember the show, The Jersey Shore? I think it's back now, right? Aren't they showing some episodes from there? Anyway. So that was a little tidbit. So they have been, and they paid a lot of money. Matthew McConaughey was paid $135,000 to speak. And that's a lot of money to get up there and just go, all right. So, you know, that's a lot of money to do that. Some colleges had, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, the great scientist, gave a speech somewhere. He was only paid $35,000. But you see what I'm saying? This is how we value people. Neil deGrasse Tyson was paid the same as Snooki, but not as much to Matthew McConaughey. It all goes on how many followers you have and how celebrity-ness you are. What's your celebrity status? Kim Kardashian, you know, get a night. She should speak at a university. Of course. So what is basically the through line or the moral to my story is go to a high-end university, you'll get a better commencement. You'll get some, maybe Madonna or something like that will perform at your... you know, because these schools have the gravitas. They have the power, if you will, to get these people to come speak, right? You go to a school like... I went to Hofstra. Who do you think's coming to speak at Hofstra? No. You'd be lucky if you get the the owner of the local deli over there, the Hofstra Hub. You'd be lucky if you get him. You're just not. It's not going to work. By the way, I'll tell you what's not going to work is a warm Celsius. You remember the days when Celsius used to be a proud non-sponsor of the Steve Squared Show? But at least it was cold. Now we have warm Celsius. This is how far this show has dropped in fame and popularity. We're coming up on the 7 o'clock hour. Of course, the great... let me see. If I'm going to check and see, because we were going to get a call in. Jeff was going to call in to give us his take. He actually went this weekend to see About My Father, the Sebastian Maniscalco movie. Now, I am a big fan of Sebastian Maniscalco, as we all are, even though his last stand-up was terrible. The one he did from Vegas, no good. Check it out. It's on Netflix, but it's like anything else. When you get so big, you get comfortable, you get lazy, your material's not as good. So the thing about Sebastian Maniscalco is what makes him great is he's very visual, right? He's very, his antics, he's really in your face, kind of, Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, they're very physical. They don't just stand by the mic. They really give you a show. He doesn't do that here. He's in a big tux, trying to be one of the Rat Pack, and, it just didn't work for him. He wasn't funny. Neither was his material. But he comes out with this movie that he co-writes. It's got him, Robert De Niro plays his father, and I saw the trailer. Kim Cattrall's in it also. I saw the trailer, and it's kind of it's a movie about his life, so to speak, about him and his relationship with his Italian dad, and how he embarrasses him all the time because he's from the old country, and right, and there's a lot of Italian slang, devices used, the kind of stereotypical, Fangula, hey dad, and there were a lot of the, hey yo, bada bing, a lot of that and a lot of this. So it's really it's just didn't get good reviews. It got slammed. Just awful at the box office. But Jeff decides to go. I go, Jeff, what are you doing? And he says, let me go. And he goes and watches it. And of course, I'm going to give him a couple of minutes to see if he wants to call in and talk about it. But I'll tell you if he doesn't, I'll tell you what he said. But I'll tell you from now we usually are pretty eye to eye on a lot of things. But he says he loved the trailer of this movie. So I ask you all to watch the trailer. I understand why Robert De Niro had to do this movie. Look, guy just turned 79, almost 80 years old, and he just had another child. So sure, you got to get back out there and make a little money. You can't retire. Even Robert De Niro, who has whatever $1 trillion in the bank, he's got to get back out there and do whatever he gets. You got to make a check. He's got another mouth to feed, another baby. It's hard to be a new dad at 80, changing diapers. You looking at me? Are you looking at me? It's hard to make a career on that, but he did. Good for him. I'm not again, we differ. Jeff thinks he does good comedy, Robert De Niro. I don't think so. He was okay in Meet the Parents, which was really carried by Ben Stiller, but he played it well. I'll give him that. But the movie he did with Billy Crystal was god-awful, where he plays, of course, a mob boss. He was terrible in that. That silly movie with Billy Crystal. And they actually did, I think, 2 of them. It's really bad. But, so they do this movie, and it's basically the story of him and his dad embarrasses him, and now he takes his dad with him to meet his fiance's family, who are, of course, the creme de la creme, the upper crust of society. They have a country club, and they live on an estate. The mother is played by Kim Cattrall. She's a senator. The father owns a hotel estate. And he's meeting the family, so he brings his dad, Robert De Niro, with him, who's an embarrassment. And, you know the rest. The rest is the movie's going down the toilet. But Jeff went to see it, so I say, go, enjoy. Anyway. This was actually interesting. When was the last time you rode on a... Did you ever ride on a carousel? You even know what a carousel is. This is a carousel. This is a carousel. So you remember you ride on the horse. It's maybe better known as a merry-go-round. Merry-go-round. This is... I was going to call the Steve Squared Show that when we first started, because it's basically a circular bit of fun, of merry. Right? The show just keeps going around and around until you're ready to vomit. That, in essence, is the Steve Squared Show. A circular vamp of nausea. Anyway, so at this Greenport merry-go-round, see how much fun the little girl is having on this cute horse? This horse is innocent. It means no harm to anybody, but maybe it does. See, some lead paint was found on these horsies, and lead paint and children don't mix. Like gas and oil, or, Ashton Kutcher and talent. It just doesn't go together. Pete Davidson and anybody, any girl, it just doesn't match. So lead paint was removed from these merry-go-round, or I'm probably guessing they just painted over, let's be honest. And but if you they are happy to say it's been taken care of. You can now because this is the time. This is the summer of love, summer of fun. You want to go on merry-go-rounds. This is where everybody's a kid, right? You go to beaches and splash around. Remember I told you there are more people. There's more shark spotters. Governor Hochul. It's like you got something in your throat. Hochul. She set aside in the budget $145,000, which might not sound alike, and I'll tell you why, because it's not a lot. She had set aside that money. It's basically like $11. It's like she had a $10 bill in her pocket. Said, here, go save yourself from sharks. Because even with extra shark spotters, there's already this season, when people, I can't even believe, are in the water. It's so cold. For the water, not for outside, but of course, you don't go in the water before July 4th. The waters are freezing. There was already 2 incidents. And they actually had another whale or humpback whale was washed on shore. There's a lot of nonsense going on in the waters. I don't know what's happening exactly. But anyway, so in this summer, my point is be careful when you're out having fun. Fireworks are coming on. I mean, people are already doing them, so you got to watch. Because this is when it's dangerous out there, right? A lot of travelers. They said there was this weekend alone was over 40 million people would be traveling more than 50 miles somewhere. Now, I ran this weekend, but not over 50 miles, so I don't count in that travelers. I just went on a run. So I'm probably not in that survey. But anyway, speaking of horses, was I speaking of horses? This is a little annoying. So they were talking about how the Long Island Railroad will be going to Belmont Stakes. So if you want to go to the Belmont Stakes, part of the Triple Crown, you could take the Long Island Railroad. The 155th running of the Belmont Stakes will be on June 10th. So very close, maybe a week, 10 days away, because May is coming to an end. Do you believe May is already over? We're getting into June. So the train will take these people, these massive amounts of drunk people. As you can see in a previous picture, they're all standing waiting, to Belmont Stakes. So we're talking about horses, right? We talked about the merry-go-round. I think they should put real horses on the merry-go-round. We're talking about Jules' new book. She's on a horse. She was she was raised on a real frontier, real homestead, if you will, in Alaska. So that wasn't just a picture for a picture. She's a horse. She used the horse for transportation as a kid instead of a car. So, which I wish I could do here on Long Island, because I get stuck in traffic. I would much rather just get on a horse and ride alongside the shoulder of the road. But when are they going to stop this over-pretentious, bougie nonsense of horse racing? Why are you torturing these poor animals? Why did they have to get people to jump on these horses and ride them in 90 miles an hour, where if one of them falls and they break their leg, they're done? This is not a Seabiscuit movie where they bring the horse and really bring it back, and care for it. No, they're not. That's not going to be. It's going to get a Bambi ending. And for those of you who didn't watch Bambi, it didn't end well for Bambi either. But Bambi was a deer. So I digress. But this is enough already. I don't know why I have a problem with it. I really don't love it. There's nothing good that comes out of it. Tell me what's something that I like good things to come out of things, right? I like to go to a movie and have been entertained. I like to eat something and have it say that was good, that tasted good. And so what good is coming out of this? For the most part, most people lose their shirts, meaning their money, betting on the race, right? Maybe a few scammy mafioso bosses that are connected into who's going to win the horse, they win. Okay. So, I just don't see it. I don't get it. Help me get it. I don't get it. I mean, do the horses enjoy this? Is this something they strive for? And I love when they say, well, and I always say this in the dog shows. I go, do they enjoy this? And they say, of course they do. I say, how do you know? How do you know a dog is enjoying being pranced around in the middle of Madison Square Garden at the Westminster Kennel Show? Is that what the dog wants to be doing, or does it want to be just outside running around, chasing rabbits and birds? Does it want to be touched and primed and propered and felt up by some judges? No. Would you want that? No, you want to be outside enjoying the beautiful sunshine, lovely day. So for my horse friends, my dog friends, I'm an advocate today for the animals. And I say, leave them alone. Leave these poor horses alone. But in case you don't, then you could take the Long Island Railroad and see them run around in a circle 12 times. Very good. Excuse me while I take a sip. The Yankees are on the West Coast tonight. They're in Seattle, so it's the game will be a little later, which I don't mind because I'm, as you know, a late night person. I'm always up very late. So they'll be starting at 9:30. They should finish 10:30, 11:30, midnight. I think games are a lot quicker now, so it should be about 2.5 hours. And there's also a basketball game. Now, I wasn't going to bring it up. I think it's tonight. The Celtics and Heat. I hate both teams. I got to be honest. I am not going to watch a second of it. I could care less. I really could care less. These are the two of the most, and it's not just me. I think if you ask any New Yorker, you couldn't ask for two worse teams. So no matter what, by default, I'm rooting for the West. Denver. Who will win it, the whole thing. This will be Denver's year. They're just rolling. But I could care less about these two teams. And so I'll be locked into the Yankees. I'll be watching that. And they did. And Herman is back tonight. He will be pitching. He has just been served his suspension for sticky hands, which apparently in life you can get suspended for this. So make sure your hands are not sticky in life. If your hands are too sticky, wash them off, because there is a now clampdown on sticky hands. So if you're eating spare ribs or something sticky food, cotton candy, wash those hands. You will be subject to a 10-game suspension. So that's what happened. But he's pitching tonight, so let's see how that goes. If I was him, I'd pour turpentine on my hands, just as a joke. He's got to be careful, because if it happens again, he gets 50 games. 50! It's ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. Because it's arbitrary. They're not telling you what you can and can't do. The umpires just feel you. They feel your hands after every inning. They go like this. All right, you're good. And sometimes they tell guys, go wash your hands. There's no clear-cut anything. So, this is not like Herman and the pitchers know you're getting checked all through the game. Every inning they check you. So they're not trying to get away with something. He literally thought, and my hands are fine. I'm allowed to use this rosin. So it's not like Astros cheating when they had this whole elaborate, photography, video cam, electronic system set up where they were all had, phones and cords and wireless Bluetooth set up on them to tell what kind of pitches were coming. That's cheating. This is just some ambiguous nonsense brought down by MLB to get offense going again. They don't want pitchers to have any clear-cut anything, because they feel people like to watch sports when more home runs and offense is done. So they are trying to keep the pitchers from having this sticky stuff, which gives you it helps you get a better grip on the ball. Or on life. Let's face it, anything sticky helps you in life. It helps you have a better grip on things. But you can't, I guess, in baseball. So, anyway. This is insane. I was looking at the paper. Tell me if you guys knew this. I don't know if you guys knew this. Look at this guy, still going strong. Did you know Henry Kissinger is still alive and he's 100 years old? And he's this is unbelievable. One of the greatest voices of I think he lasted so long in politics and world affairs because nobody had any idea what he said. Not a clue. They should get him to speak at a commencement. He's 100 years old. The guy has seen it all. He's been there and back. Snooky. They get Snooky. You got this guy. He's 100 years old. He's negotiated peace treaties and world affairs from, the Middle East to Timbuktu and there and back. But you get Snooky? Come on. That's an affront right there. I would get Henry Kissinger. He was a diplomat, U.S. foreign policy during the 60s. Oh my goodness. Just this past Saturday, turned 100. Happy birthday. And it says here he outlasted many of his political contemporaries. I assume so. Wow. Kissinger. Kissinger. So I think he's going to actually have a book. He must have a book or some books coming out. Here's the book. He co-authored a book. It's called The Age of AI and Our Human Future. So he actually just came out with a book. So if you're interested in the world affairs of Henry Kissinger, check out his book. Even when you're 100, you still need to make money. We don't let you off in this life. You reach 100, you figure, let me have a day off. I deserve it. I lived 100 years. No. Write a book, make money. Keep it going. Keep that train rolling. Keep it going, baby. There's a lot of shows coming. Some really good shows. I told you already some of my favorites, but let's see what else is coming here. I'll tell you. Let me see if there's any comics that you might like. Kevin Hart is going to be at Forest Hills on June 4th. Now, this is a problem, and he does this all the time. Kevin James. Kevin James will be at the Paramount in Huntington on June 4th and the 8th. Kevin James, I love him in The King of Queens. He was fabulous with Leah Remini. He's not a good stand-up comic. He's just not. And if you want to prove me correct, go watch this mess. He's just not good. It's like an hour of him making fun of his weight and his thing. It's just not... Seinfeld's at the Beacon, of course. He just lives there. I'm trying to see if I could find you somebody good. Ali Wong is pretty good. She's going to be at the Beacon right after Seinfeld. But, hey, this is going to... My brother would love this at the Jones Beach Theater. I see if I could tell my brother about this. Oh, not at the Jones Beach. Actually, this he might even enjoy. This is at the Paramount, right here in Huntington. Peter Frampton, the great Peter Frampton. This is his farewell tour. And my brother was a big fan of Peter Frampton. It's his Never Say Never tour. That doesn't even make sense. I don't even know if that... They come up with these names of tours. I don't know. Why do you have to name the tour? Just say they're on tour. Frampton's on tour. Why do you have to have the name? Wow. The admission, the tickets range anywhere from $200 to $400 to see Peter Frampton. This guy was big in the 70s. How is he still a draw like that? But my brother, I bet you my brother would be interested. I don't know for that kind of money, but he might be. And this can't be right. The Beach Boys. Are they still together? Wow. It doesn't say a tribute band. It says the actual Beach Boys. How many Beach Boys could be left? Can't be much. It must be like the Beach Boy. They're now the Beach Boy. But they're going to do Surfing USA, Catch a Wave. They're performing at West Hampton in the Hamptons, July 30th. So go see them. Let's see if anybody else tickles my fancy. Then there's a lot of tribute bands, like the Fab Beatles tribute band, things like that. Belinda Carlisle's going to be performing. at the Westbury. So she's I like her. She's pretty good. See a Led Zeppelin tribute band. But this is actually pretty good. Joan Jett is going to be performing, and the Blackhearts. That's actually a good show. That's going to be at Madison Square Garden. That should be pricey. That should be pretty good. She's actually a really good. I've seen her, I think, once before. She performed at Eisenhower Park last summer. Remember that? Here's the Offspring that I was talking about. So there's a lot of good shows. So check it out. They'll be performing all over the place. Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish will be on Long Island. So they got people come to Long Island. This is not a joke here. People come, they enjoy, they like to talk about, sing here on Long Island. We get a lot of big acts and big names. So pretty excited about that. What else we got for you? Smuggler's Jack. If you're looking for a good lobster roll, you go to Smuggler's Jack. They're right here in Massapequa on Merrick Road. You tell them the Steve Squared Show sent you. They'll take you. They'll probably give you maybe an extra roll. Probably not. Probably not, my friends. I'll tell you how disappointed. It's 7:21 and no call in from anybody. Nothing. This is just ridiculous. I can't tell you how hurt I am by just not caring. I tell these guys. Steve was excited to have the day off. He hears, "Oh, it's Memorial Day, right? We're not in the studio." I said, "No, but call in. We're still putting on a show. I don't ever take a holiday from you guys. I'm here with you celebrating or observing or whatever the case may be." Steve uses it as an opportunity to go to the mall. If there's a mall, you'll find Steve. Not any better. I now realize what happens to liquid. The longer it sits in the can, the more warm and flat it gets. Let me tell you about my father. So it says here, Maniscalco's semi-autobiographical comedy aims for riotous antics, but lands at flat. Not even mildly amusing. So you can see, you have to be. I don't have many talents. Very little talent. I don't know what I have. But what I do have is an innate ability of sense, to be able to either see something very quickly and know right away this is a flop. And not even from a trailer. I can look at the picture. I can look at the art from this movie and tell you this is not going to succeed. And I'll tell you, I'm going to show you the picture now, and I want your suggestion on whether you think this is going to be an Oscar-winning movie or a flop. There's De Niro, and he's got an egg on a spoon in one of those spoon races, if you could say. And he's dressed, I don't know why he's dressed in the flag or patriotic like that. It's not it came out on Memorial Day weekend, but it's not a Memorial Day movie. So I'm not really sure. I enjoy Robert De Niro when he's using the F-bomb a lot. Other than that, he's got no place for me. So it's just awful. And if you watch the trailer, and 30 seconds, I couldn't watch. It's a 2-minute trailer. I think it's minute 45. I couldn't watch 30 seconds of it. I said, this is crap. This is crap. It's garbage. And I was right. It was crap and garbage. The movie's 89 minutes, which is almost a long, short movie. It's almost a long show. But it's classified as a movie. PG-13, so feel free to bring the kids if you want to punish them. And it basically crushes this movie. The movie made not a lot of money this weekend. I don't even think it hit $4 million, which I know sounds like a lot. In the movie world, it is not. I mean, a successful weekend premiere of a movie should be anything over, 60, 70, 90, 100. That's what, the Marvels made well over 100 over a weekend. So $4 million, they're not covering the costs of what they had to pay De Niro. And it's just going to go down because that's the big weekend. And you could say, well, it's Memorial Day weekend. People don't go to the movies. Jeff did. And people do. They go to the movies. They go see, but trust me, this thing will be streaming in the next week. It'll be out of the theaters. It'll be on Netflix or Amazon. Probably this will be on Netflix because he has a deal with Netflix with his comedy specials. So he's going to be locked in. So this will be streaming on Netflix. I'm going to say today is May 29th. I'm going to say June 7th. This thing is going to be scrapped out of the theaters, and it'll be popping up on your notifications for Netflix, and then you'll understand my point. But I gave Jeff the platform. I said, defend your decision to go see this direct. And again, there is nothing else to see. He saw Guardians of the Galaxy, which was supposed to be really good, but there's really nothing else. So what can I do? I think that movie, The Book Club, with Jane Fonda and that group of I think he was, I don't know if Sally Field was there. That made $900,000 this weekend. Could you imagine $900,000? You can't even pay the lighting crew for 2 days' work on a movie set with $900,000. That's what that movie made. Nobody's going to these bad movies. Stop making bad movies. They try to blame it on everything under the sun. Well, it's a holiday. People don't want to go back to the movie. No, they want to be entertained. They will go if you put out something watchable. Please, stop the madness. Who is green-lighting this trek? I'm fighting to get Dumbbells. A great show. It would be so funny and entertaining. Who wouldn't want to see people getting their hands slammed in a weight machine? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just give up. I give up. 7:28, I give up. I can't even last the last 2 minutes to finish this show. That's how upset I am. That's how discouraged I am. By the way, look for my next book on depression and my depressed book, right? Remember I said they came out with the fun book Newsday? I'm coming out with the depressed book. That's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you that much. Taylor Swift speaking at your graduation. That would be interesting. I don't know how she became so famous and big. I preferred her when she was more country. She first came out, she was more country music influence. Now she crossed over, she sold out, she's more pop. The teenage girls love her. And probably the teenage boys as well. But I'm not a big fan. Can't say I'm a Swiftie. But she went into that cesspool of the pop artists, the Jonas Brothers, the Harry Styles. He went into that, and I don't mean to have an affront on Harry Styles. My niece Kelly loves Harry Styles, and who wouldn't with that amazing hair? But fantastic, just what hair. You see, mine's out of control right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I suggest a red, white, and blue headband. I'm going to, speaking of horse racing and betting, I'm going to place a bet. It's 7:29. The show has 1 minute left. Any of you think Steve or Jeff are going to call in? Should we just wait the last 60 seconds and just stare at the phone? They might have thought that this show airs Pacific Mountain Time and they'll be calling in 2 hours. Because we're very big in the Midwest. The Steve Squared Show. Huge audience. Way bigger than the East Coast. But anyway. I love looking outside and seeing that the show is over. And it's still beautiful out. I could still enjoy a few minutes and bask in the gorgeous sunset. You want to go and enjoy nice sunsets? I'll give you my secret spot, which I don't like to give out. But the Alhambra beach front that little beach pier, I only tell people that I'm close with. So don't share it with anybody. Come close. Alhambra Beachfront. Okay, it's on Alhambra Road. It's a nice little quiet spot. Bring your dog. I don't know if you can, but I think you can. And it's very nice over there. I'm actually, I got him, you know, I think they could have made it a little nicer. I was curious, so we drove down there this weekend, and I don't know, they could have made it a little nicer, but it's fine. Me and my dad fish over there sometimes. We don't really catch anything. We were just talking about that. We got to catch more fish. But I'll tell you what we did catch. A carpenter bee this weekend. My dad sprayed a carpenter bee right in the face with some Flex Seal. I'll tell you how tough this carpenter bee is. Flex Seal, I'll tell you what Flex Seal does. It actually permaphizes your face into rubber. And I'm thinking, this one carpenter bee, it's done. We have succeeded. We are heroes. We're champions. And yet, I look out today, this bee is still there. And I know it's the same bee, because I could see its eye a little droopy. It looks a little, it was flying around a little discombobulated. So I know that this bee is half flexed. It's been sealed. Now we just have to deliver it. And then we can go out there and finish working on the deck. So this is always a long-standing battle. But we'll triumph. We'll win. My dad is very tough. He wouldn't care. It's me that won't go out there. My dad doesn't care. He hits him with his hand. He's like, what are you worried about? He always gets, I'm like, Dad, I'm not going out there. This bee is like a small bird. It's huge. And now we got weird holes in the backyard. I don't know if somebody's burying bodies or treasure. I don't know what's going on now. All of a sudden we have enormous holes in the backyard. I went over by my folks' house, and they got these holes in the back. It's chaos. I don't know if it's animals, squirrels, gophers. There's bunnies everywhere, right? The influx all over Long Island of the bunny. This is the bunny invasion. That might be an interesting book for me to write, or a movie, right? Think about it. That might be a nice movie. You'd go see that, right? Invasion of the Bunny Snatchers. I'm telling you. Dumbbells, baby! Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. For this Memorial Day, that we honor and remember all of the servicemen and women who have provided us the freedoms we enjoy, and the liberties, of course. Especially letting the Steve Squared Show air unimpeded. We thank you for spending an hour with us. Me. Oh, I almost forgot. When I said us, it reminded me. Yes, I might have been offended. I might have been ignored by Steve. I might have been ignored by Jeff. But I'm never ignored by Kermit. Look how beautiful Kermit enjoys the summer weather. Beautiful. It's really thriving under this weather. Gorgeous. So for myself, for Kermit, I wish all of you a finish and a safe, happy rest of your holiday weekend. I know holiday weekends are always tough, because then you got to go back Tuesday, and it's rough, right? Especially for you teachers. You teachers. Who actually got a 4-day weekend because they didn't use all their snow days. Why don't the rest of us get snow days? We don't get snow days. If it doesn't, I don't understand that. But okay. See, I gave my little dig to my sister. And to, of course, a new teacher in the world, my niece Kelly. I always love to give her a shout out. Anyway, enjoy whatever you're watching tonight. Relax, enjoy. Thank you so much for spending some time. Again, if you want to check out some posts on the Stephen R. Kaminsky Instagram or Facebook, that'll just be Steve Kaminsky. I'm going to post some videos of some snippets of Master Pipe Theater. It's going to be coming out, and we're going to try to do some of those videos, and hopefully give you guys some laughs and funny entertainment. So once again, thank you for spending some time with us. Enjoy the week, and we'll see you next Monday. We'll be back in the studio 2 weeks from today. I was guaranteed by Tony, and we're looking to have John Hampson from 9 Days. So that should be a lot of fun. But we'll see you next Monday, 6:30, as usual, on the Steve Squared Show. Thanks, and have a great evening.